The options for operational support have absolutely exploded over the last few years, moving far beyond the traditional full-time hire. For a business leader trying to navigate this new landscape, Ethan, what are the primary models available today, and how does a leader know whether they actually need a virtual assistant, a fractional assistant, or a traditional chief of staff?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, actually, the virtual assistant space kind of came into prominence back in 2007 with Tim Ferriss's book, The 4 Hour Work Week. And, he in that book outlined and leaned into all the overseas support that was available at $5 an hour. And, whether you're talking the Philippines or some other Asian company or country, and, running your business from the beach, drinking Mai Tais while your virtual assistant did everything else. We've come a long way. And when we launched our business in 2018, a key indicator for us was how technology had converged, where everything was converging in the browser or in the app-based economy. So it didn't matter whether you were on a PC or a Mac. Broadband had become really stable. Cellular had become really good. So by that point, it was opening up a lot of opportunity for someone like us, my wife, Stephanie, and I, who are career executive assistants. We were looking at each other and saying, we can really do this remotely. At that point, we had left New York City 2 years ago and we're in upstate New York. And yet we wanted to try and find a way to leverage our talents in a way that made sense. And so in 2010, the virtual assistant industry in the United States started to burgeon. And frankly, when we looked at that industry, we didn't see anything that aligned with us and our experience level and our compensation level. And that's when our experience was kind of, patting us on the shoulder and saying, hey, there's a different way here. And so we launched ProAssisting as a remote executive assistant firm. And fast forward to like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when the term fractional started coming on board, that really encapsulated what we were doing in the EA space from a fractional perspective compared to a virtual assistant perspective. Now, to determine what do you need, a virtual assistant, a fractional executive assistant, or a chief of staff full-time, or a full-time executive assistant, it really comes down to the tasks, projects, and responsibilities that you need to get off of your plate. As a business founder, you're usually the one who is the catch-all for things that aren't assigned to anyone in particular. And a great executive assistant can take some high-level projects, tasks, and responsibilities off your plate. Now, if you're a CEO who's running a solopreneur shop and you need just someone to handle your calendaring and your bookkeeping and some light task work, a virtual assistant can be a great option. If you are running a company that's doing $50 million in revenue and you have a senior leadership team and you are all on site, then it may make sense to go that chief of staff route or that high-level senior EA route in a full-time role in-house. And what I tell everyone is that it's an awesome time because the options are just, there's such a plethora of options.
And when you mention the word fractional, for people that don't know what that means, what does it mean in layman terms?
Well, for us, how we view it is we limit the number of clients that one of our assistants supports to a maximum of 3. And they are providing support for their clients Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, after hours and on weekends in atypical situations, or if the principal is traveling. And that provides a level of support that can really rise to that level of feeling as if it's a full service executive assistant. And frankly, to everyone outside of your organization, it can appear as such that you have a full-time EA, because in the EA work, and this is where Stephanie and my experience came in, we knew that 3-to-1 ratio was the sweet spot versus what we were seeing with some of the virtual assistant companies where they were partnering their assistants with 6, 8, 10, 12 clients a month, all at varying different levels of support. If you limit the number of clients to 3, that 3-to-1 ratio worked so well for us throughout our careers when we were leading teams of assistants, supporting a plethora of executives throughout an organization. So the difference between the way we explain it between virtual and fractional is it's going to cost you more, but you're getting more of that full service support that is in it with you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Whereas a virtual assistant could say, look, I'm always going to be working on your stuff 11 to 12 on Tuesdays and Thursdays and 2 to 4 on Wednesdays and Fridays. And that, from an executive assistant perspective, just doesn't align with what we see the role being.